Good evening and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. This is Carolyn and we are going to make our weekly swap from over on Ginger's Corner. I tell you this, I think, every week when I make one, but if you have not joined Ginger's Corner and go over there for inspiration, you're just missing out on so much. The link and everything will be down in the description for you to find the channel so that you can either just prowl around and get inspiration from other people, or you can be a part of it. You can be a member of Ginger's Corner and just, you know, check on it and do things, or you can participate in the swaps and the games and the other things that we do. You can just do it at any level, and it's so much fun, and it's such a good, sweet community. So, but that'll all be in the description box. So today, the theme is Yellow Brick Road for this week. So I'm going to do a tag that can be a journaling box, and I went with the lion. I thought about going with the scarecrow, but I've already done so many scarecrows this fall. I was tired of scarecrows. So I'm going to do this little lion, and I just put Have Courage up there. So I'm going to put him right up here. This is, you've seen me use these Elizabeth Craft Designs die cuts many times. I don't think I've used this one before in a swap, but I'm going to use the little lion. I'm not going to do his body. I'm just doing his head to put him on that little tag. But that is an Elizabeth Craft, and those may still be available. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So I cut my tag just out of some good heavy, this is really good heavy cardstock, and it is 2 inches by 4 inches. And then I just used my Paper Studio punch to make my actual tag. And then I had to decide, I have 2 stencils that are bricks. And this one is kind of the irregular brick, and I like it, but I decided on this one. I actually use that other one more than this one, but I decided on this one because I tried it a couple of different ways, and I ended up deciding that I wanted it running with the tag and not against it or crossways or anything. And this one's big enough to cover everything. So let's just put our tag on here. And this piece is kind of messed up. I'm going to use it. So we're just going to put our tag on here. I'm going to kind of try to line it up. Actually, on this white, it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can line it up so that it's somewhat straight. And then we're going to go ahead and this is scattered straw, and that's what I'm going to make my yellow brick road out of. So I'm going to kind of try this. I was using my little ink pad, and it was so, I've got the re-inker. Of course, about the time I start doing this, my dog starts barking, so I apologize for her. Anyway, I was using that little inker, and it was, it needed to be re-inked really bad, and I was struggling with it. This one was better. I've got the bigger one. I have both in the scattered straw, so this bigger one will use it because it does have a little more ink on it. And I want this uneven. I want some bricks lighter, some bricks darker, and so just not uniform. So that's kind of the look I'm going for. So we'll just... I don't want too much too dark, but I want a little bit that's darker. All right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's about right. So we've got that, and I'm just going to set that aside for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and start building the little lion. So I'm going to get that out of the way. The little lion's head, I'm going to use some carved pumpkin, and let me get this out of the way so I don't use it on one of these colors. I'm going to use some carved pumpkin, and I'm going to use some vintage photo on it. So let's get those out here. And the little lion's head, we're going to start with the mane. This is the mane, and we're going to start with it. And I just cut this out of some scrap that I had that's kind of an off-white, light tan kind of color. And that isn't the color that I wanted as mane, but I had those scraps, and I really didn't have anything that was the color, exact color I wanted. So I'm just going to make this a color that I want. And again, I don't want anything even. I want it to have some change of color and everything in it. So I'm going to use this carved pumpkin, and then I'm going to add some vintage photo to it, just to give it a little bit of a brown. I want the orange showing through, and I'll probably go back over it with the orange. We'll just see what it looks like. But I didn't want just that bright orange, and that was the orange that I had. So I'm going to take just a little bit more of the orange right over in here. Okay, I think that's how we're going to leave it. And then also, we've got this little tuft that's this little part right up here. So we're going to do the same thing to it. Just giving it a little bit of color. Oops, almost stuck that in the wrong one. All right, I think that'll do for those. Okay, and I inked everything else. I just wanted to show you how I did those. Okay, all right, so now we have our inking done. Let me get those out of the way. Except for some, I'm going to do some edges. I need to actually go ahead. I'll go ahead and do those edges. I want to go ahead and I'm going to round the corners on this, because I'm going to put that little lion's head out there on that end. And if I round the corners don't show. So while I'm going to go ahead and do that, and while I'm inking these little edges and everything, I'm going to do our twist for tonight. And so I thought an appropriate twist for tonight would be scripture about courage. And so I took Joshua 1:19, and it says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." I just think we need that scripture in our arsenal. We all need that scripture in our arsenal. There are some times in our lives that are scary, and we need courage. And if you haven't had a time like that yet in your life, you just trust me, you will have at some point. You know, if you're a parent, you might have sent a son off to, you know, a foreign country that's unfriendly, or you may have gotten bad health news. And I thought of that trip down that corridor, that long haul, when they're hauling you down to surgery over something, and it's scary. Some of those things are just scary, or treatments that you might be having to undergo. And it is scary, but, you know, our family has to wait in the waiting room. But the Lord doesn't. He's not confined to a waiting room. And so wherever we go, whether it's to a foreign hostile country or down the hall to a operating room or into a treatment center, He doesn't wait in the waiting room. He's with us, and He's helping us. And so we don't have to muster up courage on our own. He is our courage. He is our strength, and we should not be afraid. So to have this scripture in our arsenal is a powerful thing. So be not afraid. Have courage. Be strong, because He's with us wherever we go. Whatever's going on, wherever we go, He is with us. Powerful scripture. All right, I'm almost finished with these. Just want those edges to show. Okay. I think that's all of that. All right, so now we're going to start to assemble our little lion's head. The first thing we're going to do is put his little face on there. So just going to glue that little face on there. Uh-oh, come on, glue. Cooperate with me. There we go. I don't know about y'all, but we have been so crazy, crazy busy. We had our fall festival yesterday at 4 o'clock. Well, we started, or not, yeah, this is Sunday. So it was Saturday. We started Saturday with 2 ball games. We had a flag football game. Our boys play upward flag football. And so we had a football game at 9. And it was their last game, and it was an awards ceremony. And they lost by 1 point. Had we made the extra point on our touchdown, we had 2 touchdowns that we didn't make the extra points. And the other team did. And went into overtime, actually, and then they beat us. Oh, it just broke our hearts. But, you know, that's part of it. And then one of the boy that's the quarterback, my grandson that's the quarterback on the flag football team, he's also he plays baseball, and so we hurry every Saturday to the baseball game because he has a baseball game. Sometimes they overlap, and that's really bad because he's their quarterback on the football team. But anyway, so we had football and then baseball. And then we had to hurry home and get ready to our church fall festival was yesterday, and it started at 4. So, I mean, we don't have much time. So we got to decorate our trunks. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we do have a trunk or treat, and my daughter and I were both doing our trunks for the trunk or treat. And they have a cakewalk and a maze and a bounce house and all kinds of stuff. But so I get home, and I've got boys with me, and I feed them, and kind of all in a hurry. And so I get out there and I start decorating I have a SUV, so really it's a hatchback kind of thing. I get out there and I'm decorating that, and it's looking really cute. I'm real proud. And so I want to go early because I've got some other things I want to do. And so we go out and we get in the car, and the car won't start. I guess we had left the doors open. I don't know what we had done, but the car wouldn't start. So I was like, okay. So my daughter was crazy busy. They had people coming to pick up a puppy. And so she just took her car up there and parked it, and then I was going to park next to it. I was going to run both. She was doing a cookie decorating, and I was doing where they made these little crosses. And so anyway, my car wouldn't start. So they had to come by here. Her and her husband came by here, had to go back home, get the jumper cables, and come to my house and jump my car off so I could get up there and run. It was just crazy, just crazy. And then on Friday night, my daughter-in-law was sitting at the school waiting on her son's a 5th grader, and it's a 5th and 6th grade campus, and they had a little social thing, and he wanted to go. And so she's sitting there to pick him up, and her battery was dead, wouldn't start. So we had quite a time this weekend. It was like crazy. But, oh well, it all worked out. Okay, and this is the little sentiment that I'm putting on here, and I just printed it on the computer, and it says, have courage, because the lion wanted courage. And so I just printed it, and then I inked it with this, scattered straw. And then I just dabbed a little on it so it wouldn't be the stark white. So I didn't want it to be white. So there's our little lion. Oh, I do have to draw his mouth. I have to draw his mouth on there. So I'm just going to use a little brown Sharpie. Okay, there's his mouth. Then we're going to start putting it on our tag. And I want him off the edge out here. I just like the way that looks. So I'm going to put him off the edge. And then I'm going to put the Have Courage up here, kind of running off also, because I wanted to leave this more like a journaling box. With those bricks, you could use those as lines. And, I mean, you wouldn't have to use it as a journaling box, but I thought that would be a good one if we wanted to. So there it is. Pretty simple this week. Not too terribly complicated, but it goes with the theme, and I think you could use it, like I said, as a journaling box and make it your embellishment and your journaling box. So let me give you a close-up if I can. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. And so just thank you so much for joining me this evening and being a part of all of this. We appreciate you. And there's your little close-up. And I just appreciate you dropping by. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to. And be a blessing to somebody else and have a blessed day. See you later.